Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another live stream. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day already, and hope you guys are ready to rock and roll as we get started here. And we're about to talk about, why does everyone is still afraid of Mexico? Why does everyone still think Mexico's so scary? Hey guys, how's it going? Oh, there you go. Let me mute myself real quick here. But shout out to everyone out there. As you guys already know, we're just gonna hang tight for a few minutes until we kind of get everybody in here. Again, if you have any questions, comments, what have you, please, feel free to, leave them in the chat, and I'll try to get to them as we go along here. If for whatever reason I miss, a question or something, or a comment you want me to talk about, please feel free to ask it again. Before we end the live stream, I will try to get to all of them. Okay. Now, as you guys also already know, if you don't know, here we are. I'm going to tell you about how this works. Every week we have a subject that we talk about, we pick, and we focus on that. So please, most of the questions, have them be related to, again, safety, why you're afraid, why people think they're afraid, whatever, about the subject in hand. Of course, I will answer just about any question, but let's just keep it to that. Because, I do all kinds of live streams on the channel. As you guys know, basically every Thursday I like to go live here, and we like to talk about, again, whether it's a particular subject or we just do a free-for-all where I just answer all of your questions, okay? So if you have a question that you want me to go more in depth into, again, wait for those days, so that way, well, again, you can ask the question, all the questions you want, and I'll go super in depth. And again, for those of you guys that don't know yet, if you want a one-on-one consultation with me, meaning that, there's things that you want to ask me or talk about that, well, I can't really talk about here on YouTube, or that you yourself don't, want, to kind of air out your dirty laundry or whatever it is, just there's a lot of things a lot of people want to talk about that they just kind of want to keep private. Well, again, you already know, you can just reach out to me, go to my website, what have you, and we'll go from there. So shout out to everybody. Hopefully the stream is coming good. We got good sound. Please let me know how things are going. So, all right, everything's, I think we're good. Okay, because sometimes over here I don't get the full thing. You know what I mean? Like, okay, there we go. Okay, now it's saying the streaming better. So shout out to everybody. So, today's subject is something that I've talked about multiple times here on the channel in various ways, various, angles, I guess. And here we are again. We're going to talk about it because, well, it's one of the main, questions, one of the main topics that a lot of you guys, want me to cover, talk about, what have you. And that's what we're going to try and do here today. Is, again, go deeper into all that. I know that somebody earlier, before we went live, left a bunch of questions, a bunch of comments, but I don't know. I don't control YouTube. And sometimes, if you ask a question way too early before the live stream goes live, it just gets erased. So I'm sorry. Again, I don't even know who it was out there. So shout out to you. Please, again, open floor, open forum here, so that we can all discuss this. Right off the bat, I see Teresa. By the way, shout out to everyone out there in the chat. Teresa Baeza, Joe Peach, Tanya Brooks, Baron Von Crunch, and Bridge to Mexico. Shout out to everyone out there. So Teresa in Spanish says, militares en la playa, tienen mucho calor o qué? So basically she's saying, oh my God, there's military on the beach. Aren't they hot? Short answer, yes, probably very hot. But again, I'm from Miami, and, in Miami, we have police officers, that dress in all black, and it's 7 billion degrees out there as well. And yeah, they're hot. They're hot. Okay. They're very hot. That's why they stay in their cars in the AC for the most part. So yeah, we're going to be talking about, why there's militaries on there. In fact, let's just start off with that. Why are there military on the beach? Just like you saw in the thumbnail. Well, believe it or not, the reason that you're probably going to be seeing military on the beach is, again, for, the perception of safety, in the sense of like, hey, there's a lot of tourists on the beach, not just Americans, tourists from all over the world, Mexican tourists, I can go on. And so they just put that presence, military presence, police presence, again, that show of force on the beach to deter, anybody, anything, that might want to do something out there on the beach. But the reality is that nothing ever happens on the beach. It's a beach, all right? It's really more for that perception, for when the tourists are out there on the beach, especially the foreign tourists, they get to see that show of force. And they're like, oh my God, okay, we're safe from the cartel. We're safe from the bad hombres. Because look at that, we got the military right here, literally on the beach. And the reality is that, a lot of times, from my experience, and again, I know, my people, I'm a foreigner, I'm an American. It actually does the opposite, believe it or not. So the Mexicans do that in order to, again, make you feel safe. In the sense of like, hey, look, the military is out here, the police are out here, you got nothing to worry about. But the reality is that it I feel like it does the opposite, where a lot of tourists, they see that and they're scared because they're probably thinking, oh my God, how dangerous is it really? I guess the rumors about the dangers in Mexico are 100% true. That's why they got to have military in full gear on the beach, or police full gear on the beach, to protect us. All right. So again, it's sometimes when something is done, in order to do one thing, unfortunately, people perceive it the complete opposite, way. And I think that's really what happens, because when a lot of people see those people out there in uniform, for the most part, it's more like, oh wow, it's more like a shock to the system, because that's not something that you're used to coming from the US or Canada or Europe or what have you. So I hope that answers your question. So yes, not only are they hot, but that's really kind of like the reason why they're out there. Bridge to Mexico says, thanks for the videos. Moving to Mexico soon and appreciate the advice. Oh, that's great. Awesome. Glad it was helpful. Hold on. I got the sound effects here. I have heard traveling on the main toll roads is fine. Correct. Yeah. You got nothing to worry about. But driving at night is not advised. Any other quick tips? Okay. So the reason that they say driving at night is not advised is, okay, it all depends on the part of Mexico you're in, okay? There's many reasons for that. So if you are, again, look, let's just be 100% truthful about Mexico. Mexico's a giant country, just like the USA. So just like the USA, there are certain areas that are safer, okay? Safe, I was going to say safer, but safer than others, okay? In some areas, there's more cartel action. There's more bad hombres out there, which sometimes they are the police themselves that are the bad hombres. Police corruption out here is completely different than the USA. We're going to talk about that. But the reality is that, what they're saying really, okay, it's not the danger per se, okay? So like, let's say you're going through cartel country. If you're going through those roads during the day, most likely not much is going to happen, okay? And on top of that, like, there's just more safety because, now you can just avoid any kind of danger during the light, during, sunlight, while there's more, your vision is not as impaired as when you're driving at night. So therefore, again, if you're going through certain areas, it's just advisable to, drive during the day just to avoid a corrupt police officer trying to, pull you over, to do XYZ. Again, there could be cartel, or there could be, and again, it's never usually cartel. It's usually just, people posing as, cartel or police officers, just bad hombres. Remember, it's kind of anarchy out here. They might want to pull you over, again, to extort you out of money, and again, we'll discuss the difference between the police here and the police in the USA in a second. But the reality is that's not really the danger. Believe it or not, why they tell you to drive during the day and not drive at night, it's simply because, well, when you're driving out here at night, you quickly realize, oh, wait a minute, there's not much lighting on the highways. Oh, wait a minute, there's cows, there's animals, there's all kinds of livestock on the road. So during the day, you can see them a mile away and you can, adjust accordingly. But if you're driving at night, yeah, you might hit a cow. You might hit a bunch of sheep. You might hit a guy on a bicycle. You know what I mean? So you might hit a pothole. You might hit a tope. A tope is basically a speed bump. So in Mexico, you're not going to really see speed traps. You know, in the USA, you know, you're used to having the police hiding in every bush imaginable with radar guns. You know, again, waiting to pull you over for going 1 mile over the speed limit and extort you through the state. Okay, so they don't have that out here. What they have are speed bumps, and sometimes speed bumps in the worst possible place. And you could be going really fast, not see the sign, and before you know it, you're launched into outer space. You know, it's just, you know, it's the reality of it, you know? So, you know, there's just so many dangers, okay? That it's not like, you know, really the danger of crime. No, it's a danger of, again, of hitting livestock, of hitting, you know, again, a guy on a bicycle, or hitting a guy on a motorcycle, or, you know, what have you, that doesn't have the proper lighting, you know, and there's no lighting around that because you're in the middle of nowhere. Again, potholes. Topes, you know, which are the speed bumps, and I could go on and on and on. Okay, so or just again, you know, you might be hitting a curb, okay, and they don't have any signage for the curve, and before you know it, you know, you're driving really fast, and you know, by the time you hit the curb, it's too late, and you're launched, you know, off the mountain. Or you're driving in the mountains. You know, you could literally be driving in the mountains, you know, with a really stretchy road like that, and so it's just not advisable to drive at night. On top of that, there's tons of truckers, and the truckers out here, you know, again, they're not the same kind of truckers as in the USA, where in the USA, they can only drive 8 hours, you know, they can't be doing drugs, they can't be doing this, in Mexico, it's not like that at all. You know, Mexico, you know, a truck driver could be on his, you know, 78th hour straight, you know what I mean, of driving, and he's probably high on meth or high on some sort of, you know, amphetamine, is right? Amphetamine's the one that get you the you know, cocaine, whatever, uppers. And, you know, again, you know what I mean, they're driving crazy, especially at night when there's less traffic, okay, on the road. So, I mean, like I said, you know, it's all these other dangers, you know, that really most people don't consider or even think about until you're actually driving on the road. Okay. Now, let's just say that you're driving on the road and you do encounter, you know, someone that's trying to pull you over, and, you know, you don't even know if they're police or not police. Listen, you don't got to pull over. You don't. You know what I mean? You can just kind of keep going, and then, you know, maybe get to the first town or the first area, you know, that's populated, or even a toll, and immediately you'll know whether they're real police or not. And that's it. You know, if they're not, listen, they're not going to follow you all the way to the toll road. They're not going to follow you to the police station, and so on and so forth. On top of that, it's not like in the USA where if you don't pull over, you know, they're going to, you know, ram you off the road and arrest you and make your life a living hell. No. Again, it's safety out here. So again, if it is a real police officer, believe it or not, you know what I mean, if they want to pull you over bad enough, they'll wait for you until you finally pull over, and then they'll just give you a talking to, and then depends on the police officer whether they will give you a ticket or they're asking for a handout. Sorry, we're in Mexico, so like there's a guy, you hear that? I got the windows open at the moment because it's cold out here, so I'm enjoying the cold weather. So I don't have to have the AC on or the fans or anything. All right, sorry, 1 second. Okay. He's asking for scrap metals, by the way. That's what that guy's asking for. There's all kinds of people that are always driving by. Okay, so back to that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, the police corruption out here is completely different. And so, rule of thumb, if you get pulled over, don't be, you know, automatically asking them, hey, how much do I owe you? Because you could also get in trouble, okay? Because again, bribing a police officer or an authority figure is illegal, okay? But, you know, again, most cops in Mexico, you know, they're corrupt cops, and then they're good cops. Just like everywhere on earth, okay? Especially in the USA, most cops are very corrupt, okay? But out here, okay, remember, in the USA, the corruption is more from the state. So again, they're doing everything humanly possible to get you in the system. Okay, and I'm not going to talk about that. That's not what this video is about. But you already know. You already know the corruption and the level of corruption in the USA when it comes to police. It is not that kind of corruption in Mexico. In Mexico, they don't have much rights, or they don't have much authority. Okay, that's what I meant to say. They don't have much authority when it comes to arresting you, or, you know, again, doing all the horrible things that they do in the USA. In fact, they know that. So what they try to do, okay, is, like I said, when they pull you over, okay, they're not interested in writing you a ticket. They're not really interested in, and again, you know, doing the work of the state. No, they're looking in getting some money, because the reality is that a typical police officer in Mexico, they make like around $400 to $500 a month, and they make the most of their money from mordidas, aka you know, when you pay them off. What's it called? I can't think of the word right now. Sorry, the noises, you know, kind of like distracting me a little bit. What are they called? When you pay them off, okay? So the reality is that when you're getting pulled over, you need to kind of know a script, okay? The script is basically, hey, what did I do wrong? Then once you say, hey, you know, once they kind of tell you what you did wrong, you'll be like, okay, I'm sorry, officer, yada, yada, yada. Give me a ticket. And then they're going to say one of two things. Sure, boom, 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 write you a ticket. That means they're a good cop. Or most likely they're going to be like, hey, listen. We don't have to, you know, get our insurances involved. Sorry. Wrong conversation. It's like, hey, we don't have to get, you know, the state involved here. I don't have to write you a ticket. Don't worry about it. I got it. Look, we can just forget about it here. You can pay the fine right here. Okay? It's going to be X amount of money. All right? And again, depending on where you are in Mexico, let's say you're all the way in the north by the border, they're going to probably ask you for $1,000, you know? Dollars, okay? Or if you're all the way down here in the south, they might just ask you for 500 pesos, which is like $30. But you don't have to pay. It's up to you whether you want to pay or not, whether you want to go through the hassle of dealing with them or not. The more Spanish you know, the more you know your rights, the easier this is going to be for you to get them off your back, all right? But the reality is that the less Spanish you know, the more scared you are of them, the more they're going to take advantage of that situation, okay? And again, you know, all you're asking for, you know what I mean? That's what you got to beg them in a sense. Like, give me a ticket. Just give me the ticket. What do I need to do? You want me to follow you to the police station so that we can take care of it in front of the judge? Yeah, let's go. And again, all these are just regular small infractions, okay? So if for whatever reason you got to go to the police station and, deal with it there, then that's fine. That's fine. You're dealing with it there, okay? It's okay. Okay? But don't be doing anything on the side of the road. All right, simple as that. So, and again, there's people that pose as police officers and they'll, try to do this to you. So that's what I'm saying. Like in Mexico, okay, if you follow, okay, just basically common sense, you don't pull over for just anybody. You are, again, safety number one. Okay, then you'll be fine. You know what I mean? You'll be totally fine. Look, and why are you going to be fine? Because look, as much as you hear about how dangerous Mexico is, you never hear about kidnappings. You never hear about deaths of tourists or Americans or Canadians. Because if you do, if anything happens, listen, it's all over CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, whatever. But you never hear that, okay? Because they're never on the news. And every once in a while, there will be a scenario where something happens. 2 or 3 Americans were kidnapped or killed or whatever. Listen, it's all over the news. And again, I don't want to get too deep into those stories, but no. All right. If it was a more common thing, as they say it is, listen, it would be all over the news constantly. Okay. They're always looking for reasons, to kind of throw that out there. Okay. You hear that? That's the tortilla guy. I should just do a video on noise, all right? And then tell you guys what all the noises are so you guys know what they are. So the first guy was collecting scrap metal. This guy right here is just, selling tortillas, and so on and so forth. But look, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? When it comes to like police corruption, when it comes to that kind of danger, are you kidding me? As an American citizen that has dealt with very corrupt police and has been through the system and, all that crap. Listen, are you kidding me? I would rather deal with the police out here 100,000% of the time. Look, many times I've been out with my friends, out drunk, okay? And, hey, we've gotten harassed by the police. And it's as simple as, hey, I'm standing up for my right. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, you can't ask me for ID. Hey, you can't, whatever. Like I said, if you know your rights in the USA, they translate exactly out here the same. So if a police officer is asking you for ID, you don't got to give them anything. Yeah, I know they might look big and scary and they got guns, but they can't do anything to you. You know, they can scare you. Okay, they can scare you into complying. But if you know what's going on, listen, they can't lay a hand on you. If they really beat you up or do anything, not only are they out of a job, okay, but you can sue them, and it just turns into a whole big ordeal. And I don't want to get into all that. But long story short, they're not they know that they cannot do anything to you because they will have repercussions. That's a big difference as well out here when it comes to safety, when it comes to the police and all this other stuff. Because again, they can, they can threaten you, they can scare you, they can do all of these things. But the minute that they really lay a hand on you or really get a little rough and there's no reason for them to do that, oh, now they're breaking the law. Because now they're citizens just like you. Just because they're an authority figure doesn't mean that they're untouchable like in the USA. No. They are citizens. Meaning that, again, look, this happened not too long ago. A few weeks ago, a few police officers, they were chasing somebody in their car, okay? Whatever, no one, knows why or who or whatever. That's not the point. The point is that when they were chasing them, they weren't, how do I say this? They weren't doing it safely. They got into a crash. They killed a couple of citizens, okay, in this horrible accident. And guess what happened to those police officers? They went straight to jail, just like if it would have been you or anybody else, okay? So, it's not. They don't have immunity. They don't have any of this stuff, okay? So if they act really bad and they get caught, oh boy, you better believe that they're going to suffer the consequences. So that's why the most that they really do is that, their corruption out here, the most is that they just try to steal some money from you. So again, depending on where you are in Mexico, if you're like in Mexico City or other, areas where there's a really heavy police presence and they're extremely corrupt, listen, they might even rough you up a little bit and shake you down, if you're drunk or you're in the wrong area to just get that money out of you, steal whatever you got on you. Again, they're more dangerous, than somebody, just some hoodlum trying to steal things from you, okay? And the cartel is not interested in any of that. The cartel is actually, again, they're running businesses out here, like Fortune 500 businesses. They're doing another level of things. In fact, they don't like that the police are corrupt like that. You know what I mean? In fact, again, they do the complete opposite, okay? So they don't even, they try to keep everything as safe as possible because it's good for business. Okay, so again, it's a completely different animal. For the most part, the cartel and stuff like that, they're businessmen. You know what I mean? They're interested. If they're stealing from you, it's just again, they're charging you higher prices at Sears or whatever or at the mall. And I could go on and on. But the safety when it pertains to them, or the danger as it pertains to them and you, again, unless you're dealing with them directly, unless you're doing, bad hombre stuff as well, drugs, whatever it is, you got nothing to worry about when it comes to the cartel. You got more to worry about the actual police. But if you know the script, you know the language, you know what to say, you know your rights more than anything else, then you'll be fine. In fact, I don't know what channel it is. I think it's that Q Paul guy out there. Shout out to him. I think he has a video, and he even has like a little piece of paper script thing that you can have and he tells you exactly what to do and how to do it as a gringo. All right. To me, I speak Spanish, very fluent Spanish. All right. And I'm an angry Cuban. So anytime that I've ever encountered police, you know what I mean? I've always, I speak the Spanish. I know my rights, you know what I mean? And so on and so forth. And I never have a problem. In fact, I got a ticket from one cop one time because, again, I wasn't doing the right thing. And I went through the script and he's like, okay, I'm going to give you a ticket. I'm like, oh. So I paid the ticket. It's not a big deal. He gave me the ticket and I had to go to the police station and pay the ticket, same as back home. So whatever. All right. It's not that big a deal. For the most part, you can avoid a lot of that if you know what to do, what to say, how to, speak the language, and I can go on and on. But for the most part, even if you don't speak much of the language, like I said, there are other YouTubers out there that really, really, really tell you exactly what you need to say, the script, and so on and so forth, and you can also avoid it. Listen, at the end of the day, they're looking for an easy target. You know, they're looking to just get a few bucks off of you. And if you make it extremely difficult for them, listen, you're on your way. You're on your way. All right. They're not trying to, you know, they can't do much except use their words. And you, again, you know what I mean? If you're not budging, you know, they can't, you know, rough you up or anything like that. Okay. So nothing to worry about when it comes for the roads. So when you're on the roads, yeah, it's always advisable to go on the toll roads. You know, especially if you're, you know, let's say you're driving all the way from, you know, let's say, what is it? The Texas border all the way down to like Merida or whatever it is. Yeah, of course. Take the toll roads for many reasons. Okay. First of all, you get to avoid these, you know, a lot more. Okay. Than if you go through the back roads. Number one. Number two, it's a lot safer because, again, there's less cows on the road and all the other things that we talked about. And I can go on and on. Okay. It's just safer. But you know, when it comes to, hey, you know, you want to travel Mexico, you want to do all the touristy stuff, you want to go out into the environment and, you know, enjoy nature, you can do that. Again, you know, there are maps and there are people that you can talk to, okay? And they will let you know exactly, hey, don't go in this area. It's cartel country. So, don't, you know, meaning don't go into like the jungle or the forest over there because, you know, that's where they're probably cooking meth. Don't go there. You know what I mean? And if you do go there by mistake, a lot of times, you know, they might surround you. You know, you're in the middle of nowhere and they'll just be like, hey, what are you doing here? They'll realize you're a tourist or just a dumb gringo and they'll be like, hey, turn around, get the F out of here, go that way. And that's it. And I mean, they're not looking to kidnap you. They're not looking for any of that stuff. You know, again, you know what? You know, what they're doing out there is, you know, undercover, under wraps. You know, they're not looking to, you know, make that situation worse. Okay, you know, they're just like, hey, think you took a wrong turn here. Let's escort you out of here. You know, so there's nothing to worry about. Like I said, you know, the real danger of the cops. So if you're going through a lot of like, you know, small towns, you know, you're going through the back roads and stuff like that. Well, you're going to have to encounter most likely, you know, the small town cop. Okay, the small town police officer that, again, they're poor. They're making like $400 a month and they see you, okay, in a nice fancy truck, and they're just trying to get some money off of you. And that's why you got to know the script and you talk to them and be like, just give me a freaking ticket. And that's it. And either if they give you a ticket, great. Okay? Because if they're giving you a ticket and it's only with your US license, I mean, there's no, you know what I mean? Remember, it's just a local ticket by a local cop. There's no system. So it's like, you know, whatever. You might as well just throw that in the trash and they know that. Okay. And so that's the thing. And I mean, once you're out here, you're living out here, you might be, you know, you have your Mexican driver's license, all this other stuff. Okay. Yeah, that's a different story. Then, you know, they'll harass you a little bit more. But again, not as much as you think. All right. So the reality is that the police out here, they're the most dangerous part of the whole thing, not the cartel. All right. Not the bad guys. And again, there's a easy way to avoid them. It's not like the USA where, again, they can arrest you and literally put you in the system and make your life a living hell over a broken taillight, you know, over whatever, you know, and they can do a lot of illegal things to you and have all the immunity in the world. No. You know, again, if the police in Mexico do illegal searches and you know your rights, listen, you can definitely, you know, sue them or this or that, whatever. And, you know, so, you know, you got rights out here and they don't have as much authority as people think they do. Because again, as coming from the US or Canada, they have so much insane amount of authority over there and power that they just don't have out here. So, you know, again, you know, people need to know that's really, you know, a big difference. And there's nothing really to be scared of. If you're one of those people that already kind of confronts the cops in the USA and, you know, you get in trouble or whatever, like me, then it'll translate very easily out here because, again, they don't want to deal with a crazy person, let alone a crazy gringo, okay? So, shout out to Harry in New Mexico with a $20 super chat. Oh, man, thank you so much. Shout out to you. Appreciate it. Oh, wait, sorry, wrong. Wrong. Sorry about that.
Bruh.
Anyway, shout out to you. Thank you very much. Says, Jose, we love your channel as well as Mariana's channel, Mexican Relocation Guide. Keep up the great work. Shout out. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Shout out to Mariana. out there. I don't know if she likes me very much, but hey, it is what it is. You know, I'm already used to it. You know, there's a lot of people that don't like me, but hey, if she does like me, she's watching out there, you know, shout out to her, and you know, be nice to do a collab. But you know, I don't know. Sometimes I look at her channel, I'm like, I don't think she likes me very much. But I digress. You know, maybe I'm just you know, projecting there. You know, thinking everybody don't like me. Hold on, let's. Well, let me get that. I need to get a soundboard out here because this is not working with the sounds. I need to have. There you go. See. People don't like me. Anyways. All right, enough of that. Enough. All right. Francisco, okay, let me see. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, you guys have a lot of comments and questions, so I'm going to see if I can answer you guys first. Okay, Francisco Maldano says, I will move to Mexico by the end of the month. I read from a lot of Mexicans really pessimistic perception of security, while expats tend to be more positive. What do you think of that? Well, I think I've already answered that. You know, you know, when it comes to, you know, that. Because in the USA, you know, again, you know, if your neighbor is too loud, you can call the cops. You know, if, you know, you get bit by a dog, you know, you can call the cops. I can go on and on, okay? And so out here, it's not like that at all. You know what I mean? Out here, the cops don't do nothing. Literally, you call them, they don't even show up. And if they do show up, they're like, hey, we can't really do much. You know, it's like, depending on the situation, you know what I mean? It's whether they can do it or not. And so a lot of people are just very disappointed in the fact that, you know, the cops don't really do anything out here except like direct traffic and then, you know, ask for those mordidas, aka, you know, ask for some cash, you know what I mean? You know, they pull you over and then they're trying to do you a favor by saying, hey, you know what I mean? We can just take care of this right here. So, you know, most people don't have a really good perception of cops. You know, most Mexicans don't because they don't even know how bad it is with the police in the USA. But look, I talk to Mexicans on both sides of the border, and trust me, you know, once they kind of see both sides, again, depending on the individual, you know, remember, there's a lot of people out there that value safety over freedom. We talk about this on the channel a lot. Freedom is not free. If you are a person that is a freedom-loving individual, you'll love Mexico, okay? But again, freedom is not free, okay? It comes with many things. You know, meaning the cops aren't going to be there for you. You got to figure it out. In fact, many people, you know, let's say that, you know, let's say you're in a little village or a pueblo or a neighborhood, you know, my neighborhood, whatever, and you know, there's a guy that's kind of like going from home to home, you know, and they're looking for opportunities to, you know, break in and steal your bicycle, steal some tools, steal whatever. And obviously the cops don't do anything. Well, guess what? You know what I mean? The neighborhood does something. All right. And it's happened multiple times, you know, where they lynch him. Now, I'm not saying lynching like in the sense of like in the USA, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like really, really, really bad. No. Just the fact that, hey, depending on the severity of the crime will depend on what they're going to do. If you're just doing some petty crimes, you're probably just going to be getting hit over the head with a stick. And, you know, a few neighbors are going to hold you down, tie you up, beat you up, call the cops. Once they deal justice, then they'll call the cops. Okay? That's kind of like how it's done, okay? Because they know the cops aren't really going to serve the justice, all right? So that's the thing. We're in the USA, it's not like that at all. In the USA, you get in a fight with your neighbor, and before you know it, the cops show up and they're arresting everybody. They arrest the dog, they arrest the horse, they arrest everybody, and then they figure it out, okay? But that's not what you want, you know what I mean? So again, it just depends on who you are, what you're looking for, what you value most. But again, if you value freedom, Mexico's your spot. If you value safety, then the USA is your spot, okay? Again, remember, safety, right? Loosely. I'm doing the little thingies in the air there. Okay. I heard Merida uses 911 for emergencies. Is that true? Yes, all of Mexico uses 911, okay? So wherever you are in Mexico, 911, okay? So 911. Oh, boom, triggered the algorithm. Jeez, I can't even say. All right, and Isabel Bacao said, sorry. By the way, I'm sorry if I butcher some of your names. My English not so good sometimes, okay? Okay, Isabel says, I'm starting my move to Merida, planning to meet with the lawyer that you referred in your chat. I plan to be in Merida at the end of the month. Awesome. That's great. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Hold on. Let's, there we go. Jason says, in Tecate, Baja California, I almost ran a stop sign because it was nailed to a tree. Yeah, so again, with everything I was just saying earlier, again, it's the dangers of driving at night have really more to do with the fact that, again, it's not like in the USA where they got lights and they got like all these signage everywhere and everything's well lit and yada, yada. No, it's, you're on your own. You're on your own, okay? So you got to be extremely careful. So it's just, it's easier, it's safer to drive during the day. But that's really it, you know what I mean? Because again, even the banditos and the bad guys, they're partying, they're doing other crimes, they're sleeping, they're not doing that, for the most part at night, okay? They do that during the day. And again, it's a lot of it has common sense. Look, I got some friends of mine that travel a lot, from Merida to the USA, and obviously they drive, through the country. And there's one of the last times they went through, they were heading to Eagle Pass. I think they were going from Monterrey to the Eagle Pass, Texas area, whatever, that last stretch, okay? And as they were going through that last stretch and they were getting close to the U.S. border, they were maybe like 30 minutes, an hour out. I don't know. But they were pretty close, but still a little out. Well, guess what? They encountered some of these banditos. They were posing as, police or the National Guard or whatever it is, which, by the way, they're not going to be doing this kind of stuff. So they knew they were banditos and they were just trying to pull them over, to harass them and get some money off of them. But again, all they can really do is just like, hey, pull over. Hey, boo, boo. Hey, pull over. All this, whatever. But again, it's up to you. Whether you're going to pull over or not. If you pull over, it's game over. You know what I mean? You're not going to die or anything. But, you're probably going to get robbed. Just like anywhere else, in a sense, okay? You can get carjacked in New Jack City. You know what I'm saying? Like it's common sense, all right? Like, if you're in certain hoods in the USA, you're not going to pull over, you know what I mean? Like, to an unmarked car, per se, So, anyways. So it's kind of like the same thing. So what did they do? They just kind of like avoided these people, they tried to get in front of them and slow them down, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, as they got close to the, U.S. border, they disappeared. Are you kidding me? If they were really police or really officers or really whatever, oh no, yeah, of course they're going to get there and they'll stop you at the border and then whatever. But since they weren't, oh yeah, no, the closer they got to the U.S. border, yeah, no, listen, they're not dealing with the U.S. authorities or the Mexican authorities for that matter. So, again, it's just, don't be scared, okay? I understand that a lot of Americans or Canadians are scared, and then this is why we talk about these things. But, you need to kind of like overcome those fears, okay? And confront these fears and you'll be fine, okay? If you can walk down, like a street in San Francisco through all of that, horribleness, other people doing drugs, everybody taking a dump on the street and yada, yada, yada. Listen, you can get over this, okay? You can deal with this. Like I said, if any American or Canadian or, whatever gets shot or hurt or anything like that, it's all over the news. So that's not going to happen. So you got to call them on their bluff. You got to have that poker face. You got to, Again, the less scared you are, the more success you'll have. Okay, let's keep going here. It's like Paul Harvey. Oh, sorry, Paul Henry says, no matter. Shout out to Paul Harvey out there. No matter where you go in the world, always stay vigilant. That's right. And believe it or not, look, I watch a lot of YouTubers. They're all over. Look, I watch a YouTuber that's in Prague or it's like out there in that part of Europe, and my God. The crime, or in France or in other parts of the world, it's like, holy guacamole. Geez, that's worse than in the USA even, So, like I said, I've been through Mexico. I know, look, I know Mexico's not the safest, things happen out here, but in comparison to what's kind of like happening all over the world and in other places, yeah, no way. It's way safer out here. Like I said, you have to literally be involved in crime or shady stuff in order for bad things to happen to you, okay? If you're just a regular citizen, you'll be fine. As long as you're not living in, again, in the most dangerous parts of Mexico. Again, like the same thing in the USA. Look, I know the USA gets a bad rap, but, it's not everywhere. There are tons of places where they're very safe. You got nothing to worry about. Maybe a corrupt cop in the village. I'm sorry, in the town, whatever it is. But again, if you're living in downtown Baltimore, downtown Philadelphia, Kensington, whatever, you know what I'm saying. The Jersey Shore. You're in downtown LA. You're on Skid Row. You're in. I can go on and on. There's a lot of places that are extremely dangerous, and things are gonna happen. But you can. There's also the Beverly Hills of the world. There's also small town, USA out there where nothing happens. So it's we gotta look at the whole big picture here. Okay, we gotta look at the reality of how things are. And again, the majority of Mexico is pretty safe, relatively safe. Okay, it's not as dangerous as you might think. Again, the dangers are like I said, tripping over a pothole, tripping over a paper hole in a cup. Right? Did I say it right? All right. Anyways. All right, shout out to Monedita de Plata. Shout out to you, brother Jose. Mr. Arteaga, saludos from Los Angeles. Shout out to you. Let me see. Ivy Four Rivers says, hi, Jose, do you have a video speaking of banking? I do. Yeah, bribery was the word I was looking for. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for earlier. Sorry, my English not so good sometimes. So yes, the bribery, all right? Don't bite the bullet on the bribery, all right? But again, look, sometimes it's like, look, man, sometimes you're traveling from point A to point B, and you don't want to be dealing with the cop. You don't want to be going on a whole spiel, wasting 45 minutes with that guy, and all he's asking you for is 500 pesos. Look, it's just look at it like a toll, okay? Sometimes you just got to pay the toll. It is what it is. Oh, by the way, that's also a very important thing. So let's say that you are traveling through certain areas, like the boonies. Let's say you're traveling through the mountains of Oaxaca or, certain other areas of Mexico. Well, you're going to, and you're, by the way, not the toll roads, okay? Just, the little back roads, the mountain roads, the whatever roads, anyways. You're going through those areas and you're going to encounter a bunch of citizens, okay, that will block off the road, okay? And they are dangerous, okay, in some cases, all right? And they're going to be blocking off the road with logs, with whatever it is, okay? And they're not letting anybody pass through unless they pay the toll. And again, that money for the toll goes to, goes to the village, the pueblo, whatever, okay? If you are Mexican, if you're from the area, if you travel through there a lot, listen, there's ways to get around that without having to pay that toll. But unfortunately, people like you and me, anyone watching this right now, if you encounter something like that, you don't want to mess with angry civilians, angry village people that are just basically asking you for a few hundred pesos, okay? They're not asking for much. It's a toll, and it is what it is. If you want to avoid it, well, don't go down those roads, okay? If you're in certain areas, like I said, Oaxaca or other parts of Mexico where those things are more common, listen, you'll be, advised before you even go down those roads or you go on your, road trip or whatever it is, that these things could happen, okay? There's even Facebook groups just talking about, blockades and, tolls and, all these things. And that's the thing. That's a different scenario, because again, there's a bunch of angry civilians and, they just, they need a toll because again, the government doesn't take care of them. There's no police that's taking care of them. There's no authority. They might have kicked out the police. They might have kicked out the government. And so that's like their way of kind of like, funding, the things that need to be funded in the village. Or whatever it is. So, that's another scenario, okay? So if you encounter something like that, then yeah, most likely you will have to pay the toll, but it's not something insane. They're not going to be asking you for $1,000 or anything like that, all right? Trust me. And by the way, and if they do ask you for $1,000, listen, you can just turn around and go back. They're not going to be chasing you down. It's more like, hey, this is what you got to pay to keep going through this road, which means you're going to be going through their village. So, again, it's not super common, all over the place, but it is common in certain areas of Mexico. So just keep that in mind because there's certain areas of Mexico, again, like Oaxaca, like Chiapas, and so on and so forth, where, government is not necessarily an authority figure. They're not, in fact, in many places, they kick them out. And so, now you're dealing straight with the citizens, the civilians. And again, if you get in a fight with them or you start confronting these people in the middle of nowhere, then yeah, you could probably disappear, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So be careful out there. But it's very uncommon and they're not dangerous unless you get dangerous. Okay, so that's just the reality of it. Again, it's just you'll see there's a bunch of guys, maybe some kids, maybe you see the mom, what, so it's like, come on, it's different. So, and again, you got to pick and choose your battles out here. Things are very different. That's why a lot of people that come from safety, the USA, Canada, they hear these things, or they know, or they just think, they hear these things, or they even know that these things could be a possibility, and that's enough to keep them in their bubble, in their cage. Okay, so again, you got to take everything. Mexico's a completely different country, and it's just again, it's just more anarchistic in that sense. It's just anarchy. Look up anarchy so you know what it means, okay? It just means it's a free-for-all, meaning anarchy is simply there's no one ruling over anyone else, okay? So no rule of law, So again, some people like that, some people don't. I'm reading some comments here. Dr. AJ said, in some places they will take your license or documents and yes, drag you down to the local office. Well, again, Dr. AJ, I'm glad that you brought that up. This is why you don't give them your license. Yeah, I know you're probably not going to hear that anyway. You don't give them. So look, I'll give you an example. Hold on. Well, there we go. Okay. So let's pretend this is your license. Okay. So what you do is that when they ask you for license, documentation, whatever, you kind of raise your window up. And then you put it on the window. There it is. Oh, hey, we need it in hand. No, you don't. No, you don't. You whatever information you need from the license, you can look at it from the window. Okay? Like there, it's on the window. Here, I'll hold it. Let me know when you're done. That's it. Don't give them anything, okay? Don't give them paperwork. Because, yeah, you assume that they could take it from you. And by the way, if they take it from you, let them keep it. Who cares? Get another one. But the point is that, no. You just kind of like put it on the window and like, here, whatever you need, you can get from there. So, word of advice, okay? Don't give them anything, all right? Legally, you don't have to give them anything. Legally, they don't even have the right to stop you. Okay? So, all right, so again, if you know your rights, if you really know your rights, again, which are the same rights in the USA, which again, I know we think we have rights in the USA and freedom, but we don't, because once you encounter a police officer, you already know. Try to read the script. Try to stand up for yourself, for your rights. Try to demand, for them to, respect your rights. Let's see how well that goes in the USA. All right, it doesn't go very well. But in Mexico, if you know your rights, well, they're kind of effed. They can't really do much. So like I said, you don't even have to give them your license. You don't even have to have a license. That's another story. I'm not advising you to take it that far. But like I said, they're asking you for your license, no problem. Here, it's on the window. Go ahead. Oh, you want me to turn it over? There you go. Anything else? Where's my ticket? So, FYI. Let me see. Comments. Here, let me put a little music while we listen. I hate the silence. I hate that radio silence, Dr. AJ, in small towns, they will take your license plate from the car. Yeah, again, That's a thing, though. Like, yeah, you gotta know your rights, because again, that's legally they can't take your license plate from your car. Again, they can attempt to do that. But again, it's a whole different thing. Like I said, especially if it's a small town cop in a village. You got to play every situation differently. If you feel that you're in danger, okay, well then sometimes you might have to whatever. But if you can kind of call the bluff, or you're not in danger, your rights. Again, they're trying to do that in well, there's a lot of people around, and I can go on and on, it's different. But if you're in the middle of nowhere and there's nobody around, and there's many levels to this. So you got to, again, it's not a one-size-fits-all when it comes to all this advice, okay? But the reality is that, again, you follow them to the station, Don't be letting them take anything from you or grab anything from you. Oh, it's illegal, believe it or not. They're stealing from you. They can't take your tag for a stupid infraction, okay? Like, no, that's stealing. They're stealing your tag. You know what I mean? Like, they can't. I know that they do that. They do that to Mexicans as well. But no. You know what I mean? Again, if you know your rights, it's a lot easier for you to, get around that, okay? Because, for example, again, you speak Spanish, you could just simply say, hey, you can't take my tag. What are you doing? That's stealing. Da, 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 da. What do you want me to do? You want me to follow you to the police station so you can give me the infraction because you don't want to give it to me here? Let's go. Let's go to the police station. Let's talk to your boss. Let's talk to the judge, whatever it is that they're telling you to do. And trust me, okay? They might take you down there or they might just let you go. All right? But again, the more, the more rope you give them, the more, the more you give them, just like in the USA, don't talk. If you got a corrupt cop in the USA, just shut up. Am I being detained? I refuse to answer your questions, and that's it. Now, remember, you're just incriminating yourself, or you're just making it more difficult or worse for you. So, again, all right. Hello, Pedro. How's it going? Long time no see, brother. Hope all is well. Mark Bartlett says, what do I do if I get caught by police with 5 grams or more of the cannabinoids? Well, again, it's legal. Okay, let's not forget that. Okay, so it has been decriminalized. Okay, so you cannot buy or sell it, but you can have it. You can use it. I can go on and on. So the thing is that, again, you know what I mean? Like, if you get stopped by the police and they're searching you, again, they're already committing a crime. They find it on you. It's illegal search and seizure. So, you know what I mean? In order for them to really find whatever, they got to commit a crime first and foremost. Now, if they see you with it out in the open, even then, again, if you know your rights, well, But the most that they can really do is take it from you, and that's it. They can scare you, intimidate you. Hey, we're going to take you to jail. We're going to this, we're going to that. You got to pay a fine. You got to this, you got to. But no, the reality is, again, it's legal. It's legal. So if you know your rights and you know how to stand up for your rights and you know what to say, then you got nothing really to worry about. Yes, I've heard many friends of mine, okay, that have had it. And the police have searched them, at a checkpoint or whatever it is, and they just take it from them. Sometimes they ask for a bribe, and they still take it from them. So they can smoke themselves. But it's not, you cannot get arrested for it or get in trouble for it because, well, there's no laws anymore that can be enforced when it pertains to that. Okay? So, and again, if you're traveling with it, for example, you're not buying or selling it, so what am I doing that's illegal here? And again, it's more than 5 grams from what I understand, but I mean, I'm just going to keep to the 5 grams for now. By the way, when it... on 4/20, meaning April 20th, or around that time, I will be doing an update as to where everything's at. But long story short, it's basically the same as it was, the last time I did an update, so you can go check that out. All right, let me see. Shout out to everyone out there. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Dark Wolf. I appreciate that. I thank you. For the kind words, you like me. You guys like me. You guys really like me. Thank you. All right. AR says, sorry, I missed the first half of the stream. Well, don't worry about it. You can just, rewind and watch it then, or you can watch it later. I'm at a point now where I think Canada is worse off than Mexico. Yeah, it's been like that for a while, but, just bidding time to escape. All right, you got this. Shout out to you and everybody else. All right, Lizzie says, I can't wait to move to Monterrey. Oh, all right, congratulations. Shout out to you. Never take back roads, always the toll roads, the legit ones. Again, so out there in that area where you're at, it's heavy cartel country, it's heavy corruption country. There's a lot of things going on. I don't know if you guys are aware, the whole immigration situation, So, up there, yeah, it's not advisable to, necessarily take the back roads. Now, where I live in the Yucatan, out here in the jungle, nothing happens. So yeah, you can take all the back roads, you can go to all the villages, you can do all the kinds of stuff, and nothing's going to happen. You'll be fine. Just like other parts of Mexico as well. And again, it just varies, as I was saying earlier, depending on the part of Mexico, depending on what you're going to encounter out there. If you're out here in the Yucatan, you're probably going to encounter, animals, on the road, or potholes on the road, as opposed to Oaxaca, where you're going to find citizens, asking for money. When you're in the northern part, you're going to find, again, all kinds of shady individuals, again, trying to extort you. And like I said, it all depends on where you are and what the situation is, all right? Let me see. Shout out to all of you guys with all the kind words. RJ1 says the decriminalization of drug possession Mexico did in 2009 is not a crime to have, but the judge can send you to mandatory government rehab, and those are basically worse than well, again, all that has changed because in 2009 they they decriminalized it, but again, back in I think 2015 or something like that, they really just decriminalized it, meaning that they can't do anything to you. They can't send you to nowhere or nothing and whatever. So things have changed, and they keep changing because like that's what I was doing in the last year when I was talking about this, and we were talking about that as to it pertains where as each year passes and the government isn't doing anything about this, meaning no new laws or regulations or anything like that, well, all the old laws and all the old regulations are falling off the books, meaning that it's just a free-for-all and you can just do whatever. So it's imperative upon the government to get their crap together so they can start collecting taxes, because in the reality is that they can't really even you can't get in trouble. You know what I mean? Again, yes, if you have a lot on you, okay? If you have a certain amount, like a lot on you, many ounces, then yeah, most likely you'll be able to, you'll be getting in trouble. Things could be a little different. But I mean, come on, for the most part, it's not what you think, all right? It's not, you go in front of a judge, the reality is that, if you know your rights, the judge can't do anything. The judge is not going to be able to, go above, and the judge cannot go over the Supreme Court of Mexico. And the Supreme Court of Mexico said decriminalize, aka meaning that's it. There's nothing. Nothing that they can really do about you and what you put in your body. So just FYI. Again, this is like saying that they catch you drunk on the street, not drunk driving, but they catch you drunk on the street, and again, the judge puts you in AAA, right, or AA or whatever it is, Alcoholics Anonymous. No, that's not going to happen. They can't do that. Okay, so don't. It's the same kind of thing. Again, at one point it might have been true, but not today. Again, 2009 from today, that's 15 years already. All right, a lot of things have changed since then. But yes, thank you so much for adding that. She loves. I've heard stories about folks getting arrested at a car crash or accident. Yeah, okay, yeah, we're going to talk about that. That's a good one. Anyways, okay, let's read it again. I've heard stories about folks getting arrested at a car crash or accident if police can't figure out who did it. What happens to an expat's child that's in the car if the dad gets arrested? Oh, well, the reality is that, again, it's not like the USA, where, they just rip, parents and kids apart, or, hey, the law says this is what we're going. No. Listen, before the person even gets arrested, or by the way, okay, first of all, let's unpack all of that. All right. So if you get in an accident, okay, a car accident, okay, a car crash, whatever. All right. The only way that you're going to get arrested, okay, is if you don't have insurance or you don't have the means to pay for damages, assuming it's your fault. So that's number one. So again, if you get in an accident, you have insurance, that's where it ends. If you don't have insurance, well, the insurance adjuster for the other car will show up, okay? And then they're going to determine the damages right then and there, and you need to figure out a way to pay it right then and there, okay? And if you don't, okay, that's when you get arrested. Okay, so that has to happen first. Okay, so let's say that you are going to get arrested. Okay, you're not arrested yet. Let's say you're going to get arrested, and during all that time, okay, in between the adjuster showing up, all these things that are happening. Again, everything's determined that hey, you got to pay money right now, or you got to pay money within a short amount of time, whatever, and you have no way to pay for it. And then you would be getting arrested. Okay, but during all that time, you would have plenty of time to call for friends, for family, for anybody out there to just, hey, take the kid. That's it. Again, this is assuming that you got nothing, you know what I mean? And you got to get arrested. But at the same time, you can also call that family member and be like, hey, I need a couple grand, or I need a couple whatever, get that money, or you guys figure out. They facilitate that, okay? The cops will even take you to the bank, to get the money out, whatever it is. But, they are there to make sure you don't disappear and you don't, take care of that situation. Okay, so again, for them to, do something like take away your child, again, you got to be a single parent. You got to have no insurance, no money to pay for the damages, and it's a bunch of other things. Okay, but even then, the reality is like, again, you got a kid and there's no, and all that stuff happens. It's kind of like a weird situation where they can't really just arrest you and leave the kid up in the air, and there's no like child services per se. So it gets a little dicey, a little different. Okay, a little whatever, but it doesn't mean that you can get away from the crime or get away from paying the piper. Okay, but like I said, in order for you to even get arrested, okay, that you got to be in a really bad situation. Where, again, not only do you not have insurance, but you don't even have the cash, okay, to pay for damages, all right, and so on and so forth, all right? So that's, that situation, all right? Again, I'm not a lawyer, okay, or I'm not a Mexican law scholar, so please, take everything I say with a grain of salt. If, you're really worried about that, inquire with a criminal attorney, all right? But at the end of the day, you got to realize that if you have an accident, okay, and it's determined that it's your fault and you got no way to pay for damages, and by the way, any accident, it doesn't just have to be a car accident, and you have no way to pay the damages and it's determined it's your fault, then yeah, you're going to get in trouble. That's a crime. That's a crime. You can't just go around, breaking things, without any retribution type of thing. So, and again, the police have limited power out here, but that is a little bit of the power that they do have, where they, they have to detain you. You committed a crime. I mean, it's pretty evident that you did, and you're unwilling to take responsibility for it, let alone pay for it. So yeah, no, then somebody's got to pay for it. Look, same thing happens. Like, again, you go to the hospital, you don't have insurance, you don't have money, you don't got nothing, and it's like an emergency. And you got to go to emergency surgery. Yeah, listen, they'll literally tell you, hey, look, we can't do this surgery until you pay for the surgery. Or that, we have some sort of proof or some sort of whatever that you can pay for this. And again, it's a la carte. It's pay as you go. All right. And, again, that's why some people out there, yeah, it's advisable for you to have insurance. But again, a couple of years ago, Christian had an accident. She broke her heel. All right, and we had to pay all that out of pocket, and it put us in a bad situation economically, but we survived. It's not a big deal. But again, if I didn't have the money, it would have been a different situation. She can't just go to a hospital. I mean, they have free healthcare hospitals out here, but you got to really, really, really be in a really bad situation to go there. All right, so, all right. And by the way, the reason that it put us in a bad economic situation is because, as you guys already know, I don't make much money out here. All right. Again, I'm able to survive, because you don't need much money to live out here. But, because of that emergency, yeah, it put me in a bad situation because it was a few $1,000s, like $3,000 or something like that, when it was all said and done or more. And it was, it was rough. But for some people out there, $3,000 ain't nothing. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. Oh, shout out to Raymond G with a $10 super chat. Oh, man. Shout out to you. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Shout out to you. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Dark Wolf says, okay, I think she's answering. If you're driving, okay. You can, okay. Oh, hold on. Let me see what it says here. Oh, there you go. Thank you. It's Dark Wolf for providing Lizzie Glover with some helpful tips on what to do when driving from that area. And again, it's not mandatory to do that. What Dark Wolf said, about going through going with the police caravan for safety. But it's there. So again, if you're scared, or again, you're traveling with a lot of high value items, it might be worth your $10. All right. So shout out to you. Thank you very much, everybody. Shout out to everyone out there. Okay. So before we move on, okay, since I got all of you guys out here with your attention here, I want to just talk to you guys about one quick little thing here. Look at that. Jose Unleashed. Okay. Look at this. What is Jose Unleashed? Well, for those of you guys that love these live streams, that love hanging out with me and love, all these things that we do here, during the live streams, well, guess what? I am starting my own show, just a show, and we're going to be talking about all kinds of things on that show. Nothing Mexico related, all right, FYI. But again, there's a lot of things on my mind. There's a lot of things I like to talk about, and I want to talk about it, and I want to, again, we want to have some more fun. I want to keep this going. So for anyone out there, that's interested, okay, in that show, the premiere is going to be today, in a few hours, okay? So again, just go to Jose Unleashed. I'm going to provide the direct link in the chat right now, and it's also in the description of this video and so on and so forth. Go check it out, and then again, hit the bell icon and all that good stuff, so that you know when I go live. But I'm going to be going live over there later today, and I hope you guys join me for some fun. All right, so go subscribe, go do all that stuff. But it's gonna be fun. All right, I hope you guys are ready for that. And it's gonna be nothing like what we do here. It's gonna be similar. It's obviously it's me talking. All right, but the topics, all right, nothing to do with Mexico. It's gonna be more other stuff. Go over there and join me for the first episode so you guys can see. And it's just gonna be kind of like we're gonna what's we call it? It's gonna be it's the preseason in a sense. It's gonna be we're just starting out over there, so it's what you're gonna see today is not how it's gonna be for the rest of all the episodes. It's just we're again building as we go. All right, but again, if you like this kind of content that you're seeing right now, I know you're gonna love it over there as well. Okay, if you like hanging out with me, you like me, like some of you guys are saying, you enjoy me, you enjoy hanging out with me and having fun, then please go join me over there. And what time does the show start over there? Good question. It's at 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay, show starts at 5 p.m. Eastern. But again, I don't know where your time zone is and all that stuff, so all you got to do is just go over there. You can literally click on the thing, and it's going to tell you exactly when it's going to start. Okay, so it'll be 4 p.m. my time. It might be 2 p.m. your time. I don't know. I don't know where you are on planet Earth. All right, so go check it out. All right, enough shameless plugs. All right, let's get back to over here. Okay. Let me see. I think we did kind of. Yeah, we did cover it. I got my notes here. Sometimes I just go off and it seems like, oh, I know. There's something I do want to ask you guys. Okay, since I got you guys here again, I was thinking, okay, let me know what you guys think, okay? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. Let me know, please, okay? Because I'm really considering wanting to do this. Okay, so as you guys know, on this channel, we're doing the regular live streams, like today, we're talking about a subject and we're just doing a whole video on that subject. We also do the question and answer sessions, all right, where I'm just answering all your questions. We also do celebrations. We're about to hit 20,000 subscribers, so, expect that soon. But I was thinking, hey, Jose, I was thinking to myself, what if we were to do a call-in show? Like the old, call-in shows, like the radio shows, whatever it is, where you guys would call me, all right, and you would talk live on the air. Again, I won't be interrupting, all right? I'm going to try my very hardest not to interrupt. I'm getting better at listening and not talking over people. But I'll mute myself on the mic, and I'll let you guys go at it, and you guys can share. Like, again, like right now, you guys are in the chat. And you guys are sharing stories. You guys are sharing, whatever. Okay. So same thing. It could be like a little mini therapy session. You guys can share your stories, good, bad, ugly, whatever. Again, would you guys be interested in that? Meaning I'll provide like a phone number. You guys will call, and I'll put you guys on the air, and you go at it, go ham. Okay. Now, again, like depending, again, I want to hear your stories. I want you guys to, again, talk. Let me know what's on your mind, so on and so forth. Okay. Don't be getting on there, and, asking me questions. Okay. Because that's not what this is about. Okay. The call-in, okay. The call-in is not for questions. The call-in is, again, if you're living in Mexico, for example, and you got your stories that you want to share about living in Guanajuato, or your stories about living in Baja. Or again, right now we're talking about the safety issue, for example, and you can share your actual story of you dealing with a cop or whatever, and so on and so forth. So again, would you guys be interested in something like that? And if you are, well, let me know. I might do the first one next week. Okay. So let me know, and hopefully you guys would be interested in that. I think that would be fun, because again, it's not every show. We're not going to do that every show. We'll do that again once a month. Okay, we have 4 live streams on average every month. So one of the shows will be a call-in show. Another show would be the answer all your questions show, and then we would have the 2 other shows that would be like today. Yeah, we're talking about safety. We're talking about the gringo prize. We're talking about whatever, okay? So let me know if you guys have, stories that you want to share, or, again, tell me, about your problems, whatever it is. I think, I think just you guys sharing your thoughts, would be, good entertainment. I don't know what else to say. That's what this is. At the end of the day, yeah, it's informative, but it's entertainment. Let's not forget that, okay? So I want to know if you guys would be interested, and if you are, let me know, because it takes some setting up to do, and I don't want to just set it up for no reason, and I don't want to be setting it up, just so you guys can be calling in with, baba booey, baba booey, baba booey. I don't know if you guys remember that. Which, by the way, if that happens, that'd be funny as well. You know what I mean? That'd be hilarious. Bruh. Okay, let me see. Do I have a switchboard? I do not. Hopefully, I can get something like that for my birthday in September or Christmas. So, I can't afford that right now, but maybe in the future. Oh, David Rogers! Shout out to David Rogers. By the way, David, in this Sunday's video, you're gonna be doing a little cameo in that video. So, shout out to you. Thank you very much. But what was I going to say? When is the 20K party? Well, we got to hit 20K first. So hold on. Where are we at? Let me see where we're at right now. Wait, where's the, there it is. Sorry, give me 1 second. I can see exactly what my count is. Okay, so we are at 19,864. So that means that we are, about 136 away. Yeah, 136 away from that. So that could be, it might be next week, okay? It might be next week. And hey, if it is next week, perfect timing for the call-in show, okay? So it might be next week, all right? Again, tell your friends, tell your enemies, about the show, all right? And that'd be fun. I think that'd be really, really fun to, hear you guys, hear you guys, like literally just hear you guys, Hear you guys with your stories, hear you guys share your thoughts, and so on, your concerns, whatever it is, okay? But again, please, if you guys are calling in, asking me, just basic questions, things that, are not entertainment, No, listen, we got the call-in show. There's other formats in which we do the questions, okay? It's not for you to call in to ask me a question. No, it's for you to call in and share your thoughts, your stories, your whatever, all right? Again, we're trying to, keep it lighthearted, have fun, enjoy each other. And again, it could be any story. It could be a story of, you in danger with the cartel or the police, or, how you got away from the corrupt cops, or whatever, right? Or not, Like, just good stories, anything, whatever you want to share. But that's what we're going for, okay? I hope I make myself clear, and, to understand, you guys understand what I'm trying to get at here. Oh, there you go. West Coast Max says, I have cartel stories in my little town I'm living in. Great. That's something that I'm sure a lot of people would love to hear. One thing is typing it in the chat or in the comment section. Another thing is actually hearing the story. So yes, 100%, that'd be great. Oh, shout out to Kwasi Noder. Shout out to you for becoming a brand new member. Thank you very much. Shout out to you. Thank you. By the way, if you become a member, you'll be able to have, some perks, not many perks, okay? But look, I'm going to show you one of the perks is that you'll have these emojis that you can put in the chat. Look, these emojis right there. Look at that. So that's one perk. Another perk is that you get to help support the show. All right, that's a, big perk, I think, but, and you'll be on the front page of the website. Here, let me show you. So, hold on. Okay, so you see right there, you'll be right there on the front page of my YouTube page, okay? So let's say I refresh, you get some new members there. Boom, bada bing, all right? So you'll get to be there, and you'll get to have emojis, you know, you get to use. And look at those emojis, you know, they're not the same, you know, the same old tried and true boring emojis. You know, I spiced it up and added, you know, some of my favorites in there for you guys to enjoy. What's up? All right, I'm reading the comment section. All right, let's see. Oh, there you go. Yeah, David, by the way, shout out to David, you know, good friend of the show, good friend of mine. You know, he's been in a few videos already. He's going to be in a few more videos. But yeah, he has a bunch of stories, and it'd be awesome to, you know, have him call in if he's interested and share a little bit more. You know, again, he had a story, you know, with, you know, some bad hombres, you know, when he was traveling back into the U.S. Before he got the Eagle Pass. His truck broke down in San Luis Potosi, I think, right? And you know, that was a cool story, and so on and so forth. So we love to hear from Mr. Rogers out there. Shout out to David. Super shout out to David out there. Awesome. I'm reading the comments real quick. That's why I got the music playing. Now, Enrod says, I'll send you one. I have 2 switchboards. Oh, awesome. You know, by the way, switchboard meaning like a soundboard. Is that what you mean? Yes, I would love to have a soundboard, you know? Yes, a dedicated soundboard where I can put all the sound effects and stuff like that. Yes, that'd be awesome. Yeah, man. Hey, just email me and, you know, I'll let you know who to send it to, okay? Yeah, because I don't give away my address or anything like that, all right? Just, you know, just in case, you know. I'm sure you're trustworthy, Enrod. But still, yeah, if you want to send me anything, don't worry. I'll provide you with an address and we'll get it. We'll get the soundboard out here. That'd be awesome. I really appreciate that. That'd be an awesome gift. Baja Racer says, we had our son in Mexico and are now permanent residents. We are a family of 5 and we make $5,500 a month and don't know if that is enough to live in Merida. That's plenty. That is plenty to live out here in Merida. You're going to be living like the upper 1% of Mexicans, okay? By the way, I'm going to be talking about that more in depth a little bit in next episode on Sunday, okay? Sunday's upload. By the way, I apologize for the water filter. Hold on a second. My water pump. Sorry. Hopefully it's not too loud. By the way, David Rogers and his wife Rebecca, you know, got me this shirt. Nice and thick since it's nice and cold out. All right. But yeah, $5,500 US is more than enough. I mean, literally, that is what the upper 1% of Mexicans make. So there's like, I don't know how many Mexicans live in Mexico. It's like 160 million or something like that. And only 1.2 or 1.5 million Mexicans make more than that. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so you're in the upper 1%. You'll be fine. All right. Because again, a typical middle-class Mexican family, they make around $1,500 a month. But you know, the reality is that, you know, they make more like $2,000, $2,500 a month, all right, and they live very comfortably. But again, it all depends on you. You know, what you consider comfortable, what you consider luxury, and so on and so forth, okay? For many people, $5,000 is not enough, and that's just them or them and their wife. But, you know, for a typical Mexican family with 5 kids, yeah, $5,000, you know, dollars, oh my God, that's, they won the lottery, you know? You know, dad works for the government, whatever, you know? So, anyway, so yeah, no, that's plenty. You'll be fine. You'll be totally fine. David Rogers says, I guess it'll be landing on the Super Bowl party. Landing. You're landing. Oh, maybe I missed... All right, let me see. Oh, thank you, Baron Von Crunch. Thank you. Okay, let me see. Okay. Just reading some comments. See, if I'm looking for questions, okay? But we're kind of, going through here. See if there's anything else. By the way, if you guys have any more questions pertaining to the subject, anything else you want me to talk about before we end the live stream, let me know. But we're winding this down here. Thank you so much for all the kind words, all of you guys out there. Jalisco, Guanajuato travels. West Coast says, Jose, how about opening up a panel and pop up a link? People can join in to talk. Look, that doesn't work, okay? That just doesn't work, okay? I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of things. And, when you have more than one person talking, everyone's talking over each other, yelling. And that's not really, I'm not looking to do like a CNN discussion panel, where everybody's, discussing or talking about. No, that's not what I want to do with the show. Again, if you want to call in individually, share your story, get some therapy, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we'll do that, one-on-one. Again, what did I say earlier? Where I'm going to give you guys, the ability to call in, talk. I'm going to mute myself so I don't interrupt or get in, in anyone's way, and just let you barrel through it. And, once, it's time for me to get back in there, I'll talk, or I'll ask follow-up questions, or so on and so forth, okay? But I am not looking to do anything like that. Okay, I'm not going to have, multiple people on at the same time, just talking about. And that's another thing too. Like, there has to be some structure. Okay, so again, I got 4 people on there. What are you guys going to be talking about? You guys are going to be talking amongst yourselves. I mean, I don't know. To me, that's not really like a good idea. I could be wrong, but that's not something I want to explore going forward. All right, what I'm really interested in is what I was just saying, where again, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear your your concerns. Again, there's all kinds of things. For example, you could be calling me from the USA and letting me know your story as to why you not only want to come to Mexico, but why you can't come to Mexico. You might be taking care of some family, an ailing mother. You might have kids, whatever it is. But, again, it's not for me to necessarily interact much with what you're saying. It's more about you having the floor to share your experiences, share your stories. Again, that's what we're trying to do here. And when it comes to, again, it's not only is it entertainment, okay? Obviously, we're gonna have some funny stories, some cool stories, but at the same time, it's gonna be educational. You know what I mean? Again, there's only so much I know and can talk about. So therefore, I'm giving you guys the floor so that you guys can also share with me your stories, your experiences, what you're dealing with at the moment, why you can't make it out here, why you made it out here, what happened to you, whatever. It can be anonymous stories, hey, I'm out here in Mexico, I don't have a passport, I don't have this, I don't have anything, blah, 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 whatever. Okay? And with that being said, again, when we do the call-in show, well, we'll probably have multiple people calling in, and everyone's going to get ample time for them to share everything. You know what I mean? Whatever they want to share. As opposed to, again, just having a bunch of people just, kind of like talking over each other, wanting to they can't wait to get in and say what they got to say. They're not really listening to each other because they're really just thinking about what they want to say. And I don't want to deal with any of that. And by the way, not only do I not want to deal with that, but in order to set that up, it is, come on. Remember, I'm just a guy here with a regular computer, a dumb webcam, and a microphone. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, the computer can only handle a call-in, for example, you know what I mean? And I can't handle, like having all these people on a panel. Because, by the way, the reason I'm talking more about this is because I've been asked multiple times. I don't know who West Coast Mex is out there, but I suspect it's somebody that's already asked me this multiple times. And it's like, listen, I can't and I won't, okay? I'm sorry, all right? It is what it is, all right? So, but like I said, you know what I mean? And in a call-in show, we could have like 4 different people calling in, telling us our story. So that, in a sense, would be, equally that, okay? There's no need for everybody to be just talking over each other and having a discussion. Because think about it. There's an audience. There's a bunch of you guys. Right now, there's like 70 people watching. Shout out to all of you guys, right? To everyone that's watching me live at the moment. But again, it's not that much fun to listen in on a conversation that people are having with each other about whatever it is, It's more like, it's better for, again, it's better interaction, you know, when it's just you, you know, you're listening to me, you're listening to somebody else, and so on and so forth. Okay, or me and somebody else are having a chat about XYZ. You know, that is what makes, you know, something that's listenable, you know, you can really listen to. Okay, let me see. All right, let me get the music back on. It's getting loud out there. I apologize. See, Gizmo's yelling at the loud motorcycle, you know, the shut up, you know, Jose's, shut up, Dad's doing a live stream. All right.
Bruh.
Okay, let me see, questions. So I'm just reading some questions, okay? So, no, reading the comments, sorry, to see if, you know, what, you know, if I'm gonna, you know, if there's anything else for me to say. Saludos. Oh, there we go. Okay. John Daughtery says, by the way, this is not what we're talking on today's episode. You can ask me this for a more in-depth, you know, response. John Daughtery Senior says, Saludos, Jose. Are you familiar with the legitimacy of psychedelic mushrooms with Mexico? Yes, it's medicine out here. Okay, I'm not quite sure about the legalities of it per se, but there's plenty of people that come out here and they have their ayahuasca retreats and their mushroom retreats, retreats and all this other stuff, and they're readily available and they're great. You know, so I partake myself. Okay, so yeah, you know, you can find them out here. It's not a big deal. But again, look, for example, Christian. Okay, here, hold on. Let me open this. This is like an echo. 1 second. So Christian, for example, I think it's already been 2 years. So a few years back, she got invited, you know, by basically the Mexican National Archives, you know, in order to do a painting of, you know, it was for Women's Month, and it was just basically the first women of Mexico that did XYZ. So, you know, people from like, you know, the first, you know, famous woman painter, you know, Frida Kahlo, the first Mexican revolutionary that was a woman, the first Mexican woman that did all these Mexican women that were, again, you know, very important in Mexican history. And the person that Christian, she did a painting for the Mexican government, for the National Archives, which is there now, okay, was Maria Sabina. And she was the first woman to really, you know, bring to light the medicinal qualities of what, you know, mushrooms and psychedelics and all this other stuff was. And, you know, when she was doing all of that, you know, that was back in like during the 60s or something, like the 50s and 60s. And that whole psychedelic revolution, you know, that was happening then, you know, when the Beatles and all these, you know, rock bands and all these people that were of influence were doing that, you know, those trips and, you know, doing those retreats and all that stuff. When that was like first starting out, it was there with her where they were doing all that. Okay, so there's a lot of history in Mexico when it comes to all that. And it's medicine, you know what I mean? Same as cannabis, okay? Believe it or not, okay? So that's why even the Supreme Court said, hey, we can't really make this illegal. You know what I mean? If this is a thing from the earth and yada, 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 okay? So long story short, it's depending on the state that you're in. You know, there's some, just like in the USA, there's some states that are, you know, very religious and very conservative and very, you know, all that. And then there's other states, well, you know, just pure anarchy, you know, they don't even have a government for crying out loud, you know, so obviously, you know, it's a lot more readily available and accepted there, you know, that's why a lot of these things are in like Oaxaca. As opposed to, like, let's say here in this part of the Yucatan, where it's a lot more conservative, and, you know, a lot of those things are you know, a little bit more frowned upon per se, but not quite, not really. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is part of Mexican culture, and it's pretty, you know, open and out there. So I don't know the exact legalities of all that, you know what I mean, and how they go about that, but yeah, you know what I mean? It's a thing out here. So, all right, let me see. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da. Oh yeah, sorry, the music. See, look, you have rights, whatever. He's, okay, you're writing a lot there. See, look, you have rights, that'd be great for you to call in, with like what I was talking about earlier, with the call-in show. I think I am going to set that up, okay? But yeah, that'd be great for a call-in because, that's too much for me to read. I'm not going to go through all that right now. But yeah, if you were to call in, you could just share that whole story, you know what I mean? And then we can all, interact with that. So... No, I'm not going to put a time limit. It's just going to depend, because look, some people have a lot to say and it's an interesting story and all this other stuff. Again, look, I am going to be the judge and the arbiter and all that stuff. Okay. So if the guy, or the person, is on there and the things that are being said have nothing to do with anything, per se, yeah, I can cut it off. I am, I used to be a chef, like very, So like I said, you're calling in with some bull crap, baba booey, or whatever it is. No, we're going to have to cut that off real quick. But if it's a story and it's an interesting story and it goes long, look, we might have only 2 call-ins that episode, okay? Because, it's a really, really good and interesting story. Or it might be 4 or 5, because, they're all shorter stories or shorter quips, whatever it is. So, Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to set up that calling show. Seems like you guys might be interested in that. Again, please let me know in the comments, once the video is published and all that. But again, like I was saying about the calling show, make sure that, you have a story. You have, you got something to say that's important. Don't be calling in with like, hey, I don't like Facebook Marketplace, blah. I'm not picking on you, brother, shout out to you. But you know what I mean, because I know you have like a full story there about some accidents and whatever, that'd be great. Tell us about all that. Tell us about your experience. Tell us about all that good stuff, and then we'll interact with that. But I don't, they'll be calling in, like with like just, flat out opinions or whatever, what I mean? Again, make sure, again, it's like a therapy session or your story time, or again, you're here to share information with all of us, whatever it is, things that would be useful and good. Just keep that in mind. I know good content or good, right, is subjective, but I think we can all kind of know, or, what's up with all that. So, all right. Quais Noter says, question, why Gringo, why not have the same item with add-on for a high price? It would be easier for me to accept. How do you, I'm guessing you're talking about the Gringo price. Well, if you want to know more about the Gringo price, don't worry about it. I actually made a video on that. The last live stream I did, in fact, let me just bring it up to you guys, because the last live stream that we did was talking about the Gringo price and the Gringo advantage and all that. So I'm going to share that link right here for you guys so you guys can check that out, okay? So you can, there you go, Gringo pricing right there, okay? So Quasi Noter, there you go. There's the link to that answer, okay? I literally did a whole live stream on that, all right? So again, shout out to you. Thank you for becoming a new member. I appreciate you. Appreciate all of you guys out there. So I appreciate, again, Quasi Noter, with becoming a new member. Shout out to Raymond G for the $10 super chat. And shout out to Harry, New Mexico, all right, for the $20 super chat. So shout out to all of you guys. Really, really appreciate it. All right, let me see. And I think that's it, guys. I think we're going to wrap this bad boy up because remember, I'm doing another live stream later today. So again, I really, really, really hope you guys get to join me later, okay, on Jose Unleashed. All right, here, I'm going to provide the link to that here. Go and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon if you haven't already. And I will see you there later. I plan on doing Jose Unleashed after, okay, my live streams, meaning like, for example, on Thursdays, I usually go live on this channel. And then my plan is to later that afternoon or nighttime, okay, depending on the day, I plan to go live on Jose Unleashed. But The thing about Jose Unleashed is that we're going to be doing all kinds of things. So let's say that, World War III starts, Saturday night. I'm probably going to go live, to cover that, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be going live randomly. I'll be talking about random things. I'm going to, at the very least, have one episode, a week. But the thing is, again, you guys know I like to talk. I got the gift of gab, all that good stuff. So, yeah, hey. Again, this is a channel that's just going to be that. It's just going to be me talking about all kinds of things. And it's going to be mostly comedy. Let's keep that in mind, okay? So please, don't be taking anything too seriously when I'm over there on that channel. But again, if you want to laugh, you want to have a good time, you want to, again, basically comment, or, what is it, interact, with Clown World, okay? Then please, go check it out over there. So... let me see. Shout out to everyone out there. But anyways, guys, I think we're going to wrap this bad boy up. We've been at it for an hour and a half. And I think we've already, covered this subject thoroughly. Again, I have other videos talking about safety. I got tons of information on my website. For those of you guys that don't know, please go visit my website. I got tons of free information. I got free information for moving to Merida, Yucatan. I got free information for moving to Mexico as a whole. I got tons of videos, tons of links, so on and so forth. Again, even jobs. There's a lot of people that ask me, hey, Jose, how do I get a digital nomad job? Listen, they're right there. They're right there. Look at that. Look, how many do you need? Look, not all those links are going to work, but 80 to 90% of them work, okay? Find something, all right? There's something out there for you if you need it, all right? But like I said, I got tons of free information, and, please go check out the website, all right? And really appreciate all of you guys. I really appreciate, all of the, again, donations, all of the, all the support, that you've given the show, today, throughout the years, and so on and so forth. I really appreciate you guys interacting as well, hitting the like button, sharing these videos, sharing your stories, as we're going to be doing in more in depth when we do the call-in show, and so on and so forth. So again, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys more than you could imagine, and makes me very happy that I get to help you guys out as well. And that, again, we're just building a community here. That's all we're doing on this channel. Remember, I don't ask for anything at all. I don't sell anything at all right? Again, if you ever want, the one thing I'm ever going to really sell you is my time. Oh, yeah, also, look, if you click on up here, again, I also sell t-shirts, mugs, whatever. So I got a clothing store. So again, yeah, okay, I you know what? You're right. I do sell a few things out there. Okay, so I forgot. I'm such an idiot. Anyways, so...
Bruh.
So, I'll sell you some shirts. I'll sell you my time, but that's basically it, okay? I'm not really selling you anything, all right? Like I said, I do have a few videos on my channel, in which I am, sponsoring. I do some sponsored videos, for certain things. So you can also check those out. But at the end of the day, outside of that, I'm not asking you or begging you for anything, all right? I'm providing as much free information as possible, and it's up to you whether you want to, again, help out the show or not mandatory. And again, there's many ways you can help out the show, all right? So again, you can just simply buy a t-shirt or a mug or whatever it is, okay? So, and by the way, yes, I have to make more items for the show. I will soon. I just got so much on my plate, and it's not as easy to make these things, believe it or not, okay? This is not my forte, all right? So it is what it is. So with all that being said, guys, I really appreciate you guys. I really love you guys so much. And you already know the deal. If you like this kind of content, all right, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share. But most importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for hanging out with me today. And I'll see you guys, I'll see you guys in a few hours or an hour and a half or whatever it is. I'll see you guys soon on Jose Unleashed. Okay? So again, we got a 5 p.m. Eastern start time. I might bump it back a little bit because I got a few things I got to do, and I went long on today's episode. So just stay tuned. Hit the bell icon. If I'm going to go a little later, meaning if I'm going to start a little later than 5 p.m. Eastern, I'll let you know there. Okay, you'll know the exact start time, and we'll go from there. And that's it. I look forward to seeing you there. And on Sunday, I'll see you guys on Sunday on my channel. Okay, so just again, go to my channel. All right, and again, you know, you can see all the old videos that I got, and you will be seeing some new videos every single Sunday. So, love you guys. Peace out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks again for watching. Bye, guys.